Oh yes, it is Nick Shell. And you know me, I only talk about ethnicity and DNA test and MyHeritage. That's mainly what this YouTube channel, that's the audience I'm drawing in. Today I want to talk about something that seems quite simple, but perhaps it's not. I want to talk about my perception of the difference between ethnicity and cultural identity. So your ethnicity, the science behind you, your genes, compare that to the cultural identity that you've got there. I just think this is interesting because there's very easily a dichotomy there. And I had mentioned before in a video, I said two Caucasian American parents can adopt a little girl from Korea or China. That little girl is going to grow up white. Culturally, she's going to be white. She's not going to be Asian. She's going to be culturally white. She may never learn to really like Korean food. She may never really learn to speak much Korean. She may really have no interest in that because culturally that's not her identity. And I just think that that's interesting because sometimes it matches up. You know, it's funny for me growing up thinking that I'm part Italian, which MyHeritage proved wrong, and my mom's test as well. I identified as being Italian. And I wasn't. I thought up until this year that I was, up until a couple months ago. And I'm not. I mean, I'm like 2%. That doesn't really mean much. I'm more Greek than I am Italian, and even then I'm only 4% Greek. So it's interesting to see how that works out. And I think that's part of our fascination with taking these DNA tests is we're able to maybe get some sort of validation for our cultural identity. You know, for me, again, I identified as Mexican and Italian, and I've always been proud of that. And so do I identify as Hispanic? Yes. Do I identify as Italian? Yes. But now, not so much, because I'm not Italian, really. And so I'm learning what my new cultural identity is. Granted, yeah, if you want to make it simple, I'm American. There you go. I'm a 36-and-a-half-year-old American guy. There you go. But now that I've learned it's not Italian and it's all these other things, it's Middle Eastern and it's Jewish, I'm like, oh, well that's interesting because some of these things I can already kind of see for the fact I'm kosher, you know, and I kind of look Jewish. People have compared me to Jewish actors as far as how I look. So it is interesting though. For some people, their ethnicity has nothing to do with their cultural identity. But for me, I've always been very interested in understanding how much those overlap in my own life. So I make this video basically to kind of challenge you in this moment and have you decide, what do you think? How much does your ethnicity match your cultural identity that would go with that ethnicity? That's really what I want us to fathom and discuss in the comments. So please, I love the comment section. That's my favorite part of making these videos is the comments below. I love to be able to see how the words I say reflect across the world, and then you get to tell me your story. And so many of you are not American, and I love that. I love that you're from other parts of the world. Because here, I mean, yeah, I've been across the world and I've traveled in parts of the world, but I'm still an American. My perspective is still going to be limited through American culture. So tell me, what do you think about this as far as the overlap, or maybe the lack thereof, of your ethnicity versus the cultural identity of your ethnicity? I'm Nick Shell, and all we're going to talk about pretty much is DNA, ethnicity. We're going to celebrate our diversity.